Hey everyone, good morning. It's Denise Donahue. It is Wednesday, September 20th, and it is still dark outside. That is how you know I am up and at it early. But a lot of you guys have still had some questions about all of this Equifax and hackers, and so I know it's been a few weeks since all this has been released, but I wanted to get this video out because we are still getting a lot of phone calls. So I want to go over with you the 4 steps that you should do when now that we know that 143 million people were impacted by Equifax. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, step 1, is find out if your information has been exposed. It is so easy to do. All you do is click on the link below and you type in your last name and the last 6 digits of your social security number. It'll tell you instantly. I'll show you what it looks like because I did this. It'll say, thank you, based on the information provided, we believe that your personal information may have been impacted by this incident, or it'll say you have not been impacted. So obviously you have the option here to enroll in what they call their free credit monitoring. I don't recommend it. Free doesn't always mean it's the best credit monitoring service. It's free for the first year. So I would consider other monitoring services. I'm going to put links below for you so that you can definitely start monitoring it. But you need to know, step 1, whether or not there's a possibility that your information was impacted. Now, I will tell you this. It's 2017. I don't necessarily think that any of your data in today's day and age can be considered safe. I think that all of us need some sort of credit monitoring service because it's not just Equifax that this can happen to. It can happen to any major company. And so the other important thing to remember is that these hackers, they could sit on this data for 6 months, a year and a half. So just because you don't see anything happening to your accounts today doesn't mean it's not ever going to happen, which is why it's so important that you start a credit monitoring service, which we'll talk about in step 3. Step 2, go online today and update and change all of your online passwords. Ideally, you want a password that's long, anywhere from 12 to 15 characters. You want numbers, you want exclamation points or @ symbols. The more complicated it is, the better, but you definitely want to go online and change all your online passwords as soon as possible. Step 3 is important. Step 3 is, like I said, you're going to want a credit monitoring service and you're going to want an identity theft service. Those are 2 different services, and yes, they do cost money, but consider it like an insurance. You know, like I said, in today's day and age, it's just too easy. It's just too easy for us to get the information. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago, the whole Target scandal where there were hackers sitting outside of Target, and every time you swiped your card, they could actually get the card number, your PIN number, and then duplicate your debit card. And so it's just crazy to think, if you've not had identity theft or credit theft, you are lucky. And once you've had it once, you're going to say to yourself, man, I wish I would have paid that $20 a month, because it can impact your credit score, which can impact loans that you get. It can impact the interest rates. It can impact even your job for getting hiring, because it can lower your score. So it's really important that you do both credit monitoring and identity theft. They're not one and the same. And then the 4th step that I would recommend is have a financial meeting with yourself every single month, whether that's with yourself or with your spouse. You need to be looking at your bank statements. What I do is I call it a household P&L. And basically, I have an Excel spreadsheet, yes, because I'm a nerd, and I look at what items were debited out of my account. Do they look right? Do they look suspicious? Because typically what happens is they start out with a low amount that you're not really paying attention to, that you may or may not question. So you need to be looking at your bank statements, credit card statements, checking and saving statements. You need to be doing that anyways to monitor your spending, but even more so now that we know 143 million people were impacted. That's like 1 out of 2 people. So I wanted to get these 4 steps out there. I also found it interesting that the CEO and 2 executives actually dumped over $2 million worth in shares. Obviously, they knew the stock price was going to take a hit when this information was leaked. But I'm going to be monitoring that as well. I thought that was interesting. So if you have any questions, if you need access to the links, just let me know. This is very, very important. Don't think that you may not be impacted because you haven't seen anything the last few weeks or month. Definitely take these 4 steps, and if I can help in any way, just let me know. Take care.